Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Mindset. It looks like I'm live. One of these weeks, I'm going to get this whole thing figured out. We're live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. Looks like we've got sound. We're here. I'm Jessica Alstrom, and every Monday I come to you guys live to hopefully have lunch with you wherever you are. It's noon here in the Midwest in Kansas City. Yes, Taylor Swift was here last night. We don't care. We don't. But we're here in Kansas City for Monday Mindset, and it is 12 o'clock. So hopefully some of you guys are having lunch with me. Otherwise, maybe you guys can put your earphones on and work within the cubicle of wherever you're at. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. So I have a really organized Monday mindset for you guys this week. I've been doing so much work on our new Manifest Your Dream Body bootcamp that we have going on. And when I say that, it sounds kind of vain and like superficial, but ultimately, you guys, your body is your vessel. It is your manifestation super suit. And if you're going to truly manifest your reality, you've got to be in a amazing marriage with your body, which means that you and your body are one, which what it's telling you, what it's going through, instead of it feeling like it is constantly your master, it is time for you to step in and with that authority of your source energy, your force, right? The force that's with you, that you're actually using it through your body. See, you don't need a lightsaber. You are the lightsaber. You are the force. And when your awareness hasn't been as strong as it needed to be your whole life, it feels like the body is a force that you are being led by. And it feels like you are kind of at your body's command. You are at its cravings, you are at its urges. It's very reactive. It constantly wants to do and go and be something that maybe you're not wanting to experience anymore. And that can be very frustrating. So part of Manifest Your Dream Body, the 90-day boot camp that I've put together, is a lot of streamlined Imagineering work, because the Imagineer, it basically stands for, imagination stands for I am magician. And when your force, that higher power within you, begins to lead and the body begins to submit to that leadership, amazing miracles unfold. But until then, you will continue to manifest what it feels like a separate relationship. It feels like a relationship that is at odds. It feels like you and your body are not on the same page as far as where you want to go and what you want to do and how you want to look and how you want to feel. It is always seeming to go maybe in a different direction. So although this is a Monday mindset, which I usually try to get the week's emails done in the idea of the question and answer, I also like to ask you guys questions, because I think it gives you food for thought so that you can kind of like start your week with more intentional walk instead of just showing up. So my first question for you before I answer your questions is, what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning? What truly motivates you to climb out of your bed? Is it obligation or is it adventure? Does adventure pull you out of bed? Do you jump out of the bed like, yes, today is my day. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Or I know up until like a couple of years ago, the only thing that got me out of bed was coffee. That was like my life water. I would be like, yes, that would be how I would get myself out of bed. Kind of like kids will go to school for recess and for lunch, right? It's just like we're still children at heart, and we always will be, because we are at the center. We are the children of God, and therefore we will always, in our highest level of vibration, be acting as children. So we are going to be under the same obligations and same programming that we were maybe when we were 5, 6, 7 years old, and we might not even be aware that what is being led within us has nothing to do with who and what we are choosing to be. All right. So that was my first question for you. And hopefully each of the questions that I answer live, I will hopefully spin it into a question if I'm jazzy enough, if I'm sassy enough, if I'm getting there. Okay. So the first question that I always get is just not always, but is one of the questions that I get at least once a week. And I thought I would answer it live. What is an ego death? Okay. What is it? Well, first of all, in order for you to have an ego death, which is never really a death because nothing ever is, everything is eternal, energy just changes form. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that they even have an ego. And that is the first step of understanding the ego integration or the ego death is, oh my gosh, I have an ego. But before that, before you woke up, right? Before you had your awakening, before you realized that, oh my gosh, I could actually be the problem here, you were in a perpetual cycle of blaming the world for everything that happened to you. Everything that happened to you is never your fault. And that would fall into the category of what would be considered almost like a narcissistic approach, where you lack empathy for everyone else and seem constantly like the perpetual victim. That's when you are unaware that you have an aspect of separation within you. Okay, that would be that ideal. And the second step is when you go, wait a second. I just watched myself do something that was a little low key, like cringe, right? And why was I doing that? And then the questioning begins, the unfolding. Who am I? Why am I? Why do I want this? Why do I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why are they doing that to me? And the ego awareness begins. This is usually when a lot of conflict goes on. It's usually when your healing journey begins. It's usually when your spiritual journey begins, because you are on a mission, on a journey to figure out who and what you are and why you are. And that usually will take you down into the spiral of the third aspect of the ego integration or ego death, which is the witness. And I have done this so many times over the years, where you are watching your ego live out certain patterns that you no longer want to participate with. You see yourself, doing things, being things, saying yes to things. That old people pleaser within you, that old doormat still shows up automatically. And you watch the reactions from the observer effect. So the third stage of the ego integration is always when you become the observer. You are watching. Does not mean that you have authority or power yet, but you're like, I'm eating my feelings right now, right? Oh my God, I'm still with this person and I don't feel anything but obligation. It's literally when you begin to see your personas, your aspects, your alter egos act in your body, in your world, that literally starts to feel very separate from who you are and what you are. Your behavior is going to be automatic and reactionary based on your subconscious programs. Now, what is the ego in its true essence? It gets such a bad rap, you guys. But I will tell you, when you get into the 5D manifesting powerhouse, that is what you are capable when you get into a soul-mated relationship with your body, right? When you realize your body is your soulmate, and that it's not a jailmate, it's not a wound mate, it's not a cellmate, it's a soulmate. Okay. And you start working as the dominant masculine and feminine energy within your two hemispheres of your brain, and you begin to become dominant and submissive to your own manifestation skills, and miracles start to unfold. Until then, right? What is the purpose of the ego, and why do we all have such a big fat one? Okay. My big fat ego is limiting me. This is what I feel a lot of the times with myself. Okay. Well, the purpose of an ego is that you have a conscious awareness that is your chooser. It's your decider. It's your analyzer. It's your contrast viewer. It's your observer. It's the part of you that you think you are. But who you actually are is way below the iceberg, and it is called your subconscious programming that has little to do with who and what you are. It is where you've been. It's what you got programmed into, your indoctrination. It is your family dynamic. It is your bloodline. It is your lineage. It is your DNA. It is genetic wiring. And so it has very little to do with your free will choice. It was your reality that you first got handed to, that you were like, okay, these are my cards, but I'll change them later, right? When you forgot to change the cards, you just put a mask on so that you pretended that those weren't the cards you got. Or you operated out of victimhood or perpetration because of those cards. Like, I'm mad because of my mom. I'm mad because of my dad, and you went on that rampage. But either way, your personality has been created, out of your subconscious programming the first 7 years, because you are just sponge-like, taking it all in. You're not even deciphering whether or not you agree with any of this stuff that's being programmed into you, but you're like, yep, whatever, I'll figure this out. And then your subconscious mind starts to solidify, and it creates an operating system called a hard drive that now the computer-generated system, which is you, is now go. And it is. And it's your state of being, and it's who you are. Yet it never feels like you, because there's a conscious part of you that's making new choices along the way, but it's only 5% of your vibrational strength. So this 95% underneath the surface is the driving house of everything that you manifest, everything you see, everything that happens to you, everything you get, everything you don't get. Every crime committed against you and everything that you do to others that you're like, why am I doing that, is all subconscious programming. And so your ego identity's job is to manage the program. You see, in its true essence, it is completely non-dualistic. It isn't bad. It isn't good. It just is. It's the micromanager of the program. That's why when you, the observer, the I am, the force, right? I need the sound effects, start to step in here and say, oh, no. We're not our childhood. We're not our story. We're not a victim. We're definitely not a perpetrator. And we don't want to wear this mask anymore. We want to be truly authentic. We want to have love without conditions, not conditions. We don't want to be obligated to everything that is just so people will like us and admire us anymore. We want to just live. We want to get up from the adventure, not from the obligation, okay? The manager has a real issue with the conscious awareness or super consciousness within you trying to come in and change the rules. So look at your ego as a micromanager who has major self-esteem issues, okay, who is a control freak, who is actually doesn't care about the sanity or the well-being of the body or the spiritual connection of the body at all. It wants to run the program. That's not the rules. It's the rule follower inside of you, even though you don't like authority. So your ego is the rule follower, which means its entire job is to run the program. Oh, you're unworthy? We're going to run that into the ground. We're going to make sure that you are sexually attracted and emotionally attracted, that people are going to make you feel unworthy. And when that happens, the ego's like, I ran the program. I did good. That's why you get so damn excited to recreate that loop. And you think, oh, it's hope. But hope is you and your ego starting to loop over and over again down the subconscious program so that you can reinforce and ultimately manifest unworthiness once again. All right? So the ego's job is not to necessarily be against you. It is to get you, all of you, to run that program, whatever it costs. So you have low self-esteem, you will manifest that with your own choices. Okay, you will also manifest that by being in the rendezvous point with other people that can reinforce you, because I am unworthy, I am, right? I am scared, I am not safe, shouldn't be seen, I'm hideous, I'm this, I'm that. Your ego says, yes, let's run that program again. And you, with your mask on that has been avoiding that program for a very long time, runs right into the bait. And this is why we start to notice when we get to that third level of ego integration, like, I am literally like, I was attracted to this mess. I got attracted to that business partner. I got attracted to that sucker punch, right? I got attracted to that. I manifested that. And that's when the self-destruction starts to happen and you start to be like go into panic and not trust yourself. Now, this is where the trap is, because most people who get into this phase where they start becoming the observer of their programs, they start to take everything so personally, even what they're doing. They get very scared of themselves. They get very distant from being able to trust their intuition or their gut, because they keep making the same bad choices, keep dating the same person, keep manifesting the same problems, keep getting sicker, keep getting fatter, keep getting more broke. And they don't know why, because they've been doing work. They've been studying the stuff. They've been doing shadow work. They've been meditating. They've been on their journey, and they don't understand why they can't trust themselves. So they, instead of going all the way up to the spirit world and chilling with Yoda, they go into the psychic world and they start looking for trust in the psychic community, like the tarot cards and the astrology. Who am I? 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 And that just creates further separation, because you're like, well, I can't trust myself anymore because I don't want to be this person anymore. Yet my body just keeps being this person, and I'm scared of myself, and I'm scared of my programs, and I don't know how to turn them off because all I'm doing is studying, and all I'm doing is working, and all I'm doing is classes and contexts and meditation, and I can't get it right. And the ego's like, that's right. One of your programs is you can't get anything right. And now you're manifesting it into the psychic world, which most of you will stay for the rest of your lives because it feels amazing to be in that psychic connection of spirit. Like, oh, wow, did you see what happened? But there's no real power in there because you're always going to need to lean on someone who has stronger gifts than you. And the gifts that you have, for some reason, don't work on you in the psychic realm. Because in the psychic world, it is still considered the caterpillar. If you look up the root definition of psyche, it'll take you all the way down to the root origin of the word worm, which is where the word bookworm came from. And as long as you're a worm, you're going to be a caterpillar, not a butterfly. All right? And that is where we're heading. This is why we're going through this ego integration right now. This is why all of these bad things are so in our face right now. So we can make a choice from our force energy, our source energy, and instead of being in scarcity, right? Where, look at the word scarcity, you guys, scarcity. It's scarcity. You've created a whole world that scares you into scarcity. Scare source, scarce. Okay? Now we're going to look source energy, the effervescent flowing power of eternal life that is in every blade of grass, and it is in every part of you. You're not living in scarcity. Your ego just tells you you live there because that's where you grew up. But you don't have to live there. Okay. And so you start to notice your limits. You start to notice your scarcity, your poverty mindset, your lack thinking, and it all affects your physical vessel, guys. You can't have a lack mindset around money and not really truly have a strong, healthy body, because your lack in money is going to show up lacking somewhere here, which means you're going to have to live in the gym. You're going to have to live on a diet. And you might feel empowered by that for a few years, but then after a while, you can't still stand the smell of the gym, and you can't eat one more chicken breast. And then what? Because if you're not micromanaging it. But see, here's the thing that's really cool, what I'm sharing with you, is if you can take a step back and truly be the observer, even of your own BS, and the fact that you are always 100% to blame for your physical reality, whether it's happening to you or through you from someone else, because you are generating this. You guys don't even see out of your eyes. You're seeing the projector that is in the back of your brain that is showing you mental image pictures happening so damn fast that you believe that life is moving in a linear fashion, which it is not. Just like when you watch a movie, you think that the film is actually visual. It's stills that are moving so quickly that they actually look like a moving image, just like your reality. And so you are constantly generating your reality based on your self-concept, your self-identity, your personality, your personas. And you might have 20, 30 different personas depending on who different people that you met. If you needed to be a different person with your mom than your dad, then guess what? You are probably a different person with money, and you're a different person at home. You are a different person with this person and that person. So these are all the masks that you use to survive your reality. And I think in 3D, or at least in the world that we've grew up in, we needed that. So we are grateful for the ego services, but you know what? You're being demoted now. It's time for me to step in as creator and demote my ego. But you said, well, ego's job is to run the programs. And ego will do everything and anything. It'll use time, space, continuum. It will use people, places, and circumstances and events to get you to lead into that program, no matter what. So your awareness has to increase if you're going to go to the fourth phase of your ego integration, which is give ego a new job. Okay. Now you guys remember in the Never Ending Story, little guy, he was like chasing the nothing. And, you know, he's got the rock guy coming in, and he's losing his best buddy horse, and nobody's helping him, and he's all alone, and he's having to face himself constantly. And then he gets the wish dragon, which is his awareness. Okay. And that they go on this like adventure, but then he can't beat the nothing because you can't beat 3D. And so then you basically are like, I destroyed everything. I lost everything. And here I am. And the little girl is going, divine feminine, like, no, just choose a new name, which is exactly what we need to do with our ego integration process, is give it a new job. But it only has one job skill. Its job is to run the programs. So you know what your true job is this year? 23, okay? Is to deprogram the subconscious mind and reprogram it with the force within you, which means through choice, through free will, through awareness, through diving deep into your heart and say, who am I really? Not my story, not my conditions, not my circumstances, not my bank account, not the way this looks right now, but who am I really? And then with all of the force that you are, you literally move into creating new programs by repetitive self-hypnosis. This is everything that we're doing in our bootcamp right now. We are doing self-hypnosis. We're doing affirmations. It is literally, we are working to build the muscle of imagination, just like you would build a muscle in the gym. We're doing remote viewing training. We're doing all kinds of imagineering work to get that muscle that is your frontal lobe, your frontal cortex, your third eye, the magician within, the one that will see the nation that it chooses to live in and manifest it through thoughts, words, deeds, will basically be pushed out of you, okay? And a new world will emerge. And guess what? Then ego will run that program. And that is amazing, because once you set it, you forget it. You don't need to get up and learn how to walk every day, do you? That's a program. You don't know how to, you have to remember to drive a car. Your body knows how to do that. Your body knows how to do so many different programs right now, you guys, that you don't even have to think about it. But it also knows how to do a lot of horrible stuff to you as well that are just programs. Okay? What you eat, how you eat, where you go, what you like, what you do. Maybe 60, 70% of that isn't truly who you are. And how do you know who you truly are? Well, you go into the state of, if I have all the money in the world and I have no problems, I'm already in a perfect body and I'm already in the perfect relationship and I already am in the perfect place, what do I do with my time? What do I do with my day? That's the real you. That's the I am. The I am is in completion. It is in already sovereignhood. It is already mastered. It is already on the other side. It is living patiently, waiting in heaven. Like, where is she? She's supposed to be here now. All she has to do is integrate the ego and give it a new name, give it a new job. But you're the one who is actually going to have to deprogram it. And that's why this boot camp that I'm doing, Manifest Your Dream Body, is because guess where your ego is located? Well, where are your cravings, where are your urges, where are your ideas, what do you see, what do you hear, what do you feel? It's in your body. Your five senses are all programmed to your subconscious programming. So you technically don't actually see what other people see as reality. You see what you can perceive. And what you can perceive is based on your subconscious programming. So the life that you're living is completely independent than the life that I'm living. And so is someone else. And we know this because you can take two siblings that were raised exactly the same way, and they have a completely different alternate reality going on in their mind. How so? Their programming is different. The way they saw the world was different. Their trauma is different. Their viewpoint is different. Their choices are different. Their behavior is different. And therefore, their world is different. And this is why when you're judging someone else, right, on the way that they're living their life, you have no idea what programs they're running off of just because they're not yours. Okay. And the way that this very intricate holographic reality is designed is that people with corresponding wounding that is in the subconscious mind like to bump into you. Okay. They like to perpetrate you and victimize you, just like you like to do to them. Have you ever done something to someone and been like, I am so sorry I did that. Like something came over me and I had to do it, because you had to fulfill the destiny of playing that channel for someone else's subconscious programming. You had to hurt that person if they believe that everybody hurts you. If they believe that every girl that wears butterfly sunglasses and blonde hair hurts me, then guess what, guys? I have to play the villain. And I'm not doing that intentionally, but that is my job for today, because I am you pushed out. I am a reflection of your either greatest pain or your greatest aspect. And I don't know which one I'm going to play. And this is why, forgive me, Father, they know not what they do, is one of the most important points of the Bible that you could ever understand, is because someone's got to behave that way to me. If I have a belief system that people hate butterflies, then guess what? Then I'm going to manifest people throwing eggs at me today. And that's just how it is. All right? So once you understand that you should not take any of this personally, none of it, and that it's just a program. It's like, do you ever, I mean, I don't think a lot of women do this, but guys do this. They get in a video game and they're playing, but they don't like throw it down and be like, Oh, that guy just attacked me out of nowhere. That's the guy's job to attack you. Your job is to do this in the video game, right? It's the job of the game. So when people are attacking you or hurting you, it is literally your own subconscious prophecies playing out beautifully. Perfection. Okay? So your job is to go, all of this, I don't want this. But I got to get my Imagineering muscle up. I got to go through thought rehab. I got to retrain my brain. I have to remind myself. I have to remember myself. And then my new operating system will be the same as it was before. And the ego will move from one world to the other of managing, I am not good enough, to I am good enough. It will manage scarcity, poverty, mindset, and lack to all I am is abundance and prosperity. And therefore, subconscious programming creates people, places, and things, circumstances, events, opportunity, support, investments that line up with your underlying subconscious belief systems about you. Your job is to lower the mask and look at your reality and say, well, this is happening. I must believe this, which means you're going to get humbled in this ego integration. And it's very painful. I spent 2 years in this place. I feel like I'm coming out of it a little bit, but 2 years down in the gutter, reprogramming what I tried to run away from. That's why whatever you're running away from is chasing you. And whatever you're chasing is running away from you. Guys, girls, stop. Okay, if this is your, if you get off somehow on that weird cat and mouse chase, you're not going to get anything. You're going to get reconfirming that you can't have what you want. Nobody loves you. Nobody sees you and hears you, and your world is not safe. And all it is the operating system that you may say is obsolete. The way you want to look at your operating systems, guys, your subconscious, is just going from like Bing to Chrome or Bing to Google. Like, it's just a different operating system. Don't take it personally. If you keep manifesting proof that you're unworthy, it just means that you are the best actor in the world of your own subconscious programming, and you need to become more aware of the fact that that is your program and no one is doing anything to you. Okay, which leads me into our second topic of the day. Now, one of the most interesting things that I learned when I was rebuilding the physical vessel that you see here, 48 years old and 4 children, is that a good amount of self-hate, self-loathing, self-rejection, self-denial, avoidance, just damn near horribleness towards yourself really does a number on your physical body. You may not see it right away, but as soon as that metabolism starts to slow down and that age starts to show up, you're like, oh, now let's add time onto that as a big damn warden that is in the face going, your time's ticking. You got 4 kids. You're single. What are you going to do with your life, right? And this is how I've lived my life literally forever. And what I realized is that your body is going to take on the persona of the purpose and character and script that you are currently acting out, which means, let's take this idea of a skunk. A skunk has very distinct survival mechanisms built into it, right? Is you could be like the strongest person you see a skunk, you're going the other way. Because you're not going to get that smell off you. Well, did you realize that every body problem that you're currently sitting in right now, whether it be weight, okay, whether it be pain, or whether it be illness, or rapid aging, or whatever you want to, hormone issues, is actually coming from your subconscious mind's defense mechanisms? Think about it. Your body is playing the archetype of who you believe you are. So let's look at how fun your life is. We talked about this last week, okay? On a scale from 1 to 10, how fun is your life? Well, if it's a 2, why do you need an awesome body? Do you make a living off your body? Okay. Do you use it for anything other than paying your bills and eating food and sitting on a couch, or that one vacation you take, or the hearty har you have in the garage with the beer and your buddies? Like, what is your reality? And why would you need an Olympic athlete body if that is your world? So the smaller your world gets, the denser your bodies get. Okay, they weren't designed to age because they work off of brain waves. Brain waves will take you into different places. When you are in beta, which is defense, which is assumption, which is on guard, which is rigid, you are aging 3 times faster than a regular human would if they were at a rest and reboot state of the fight or flight. When you get into alpha, you are in a learning state, which is you are accelerating aging by 1%. You are, because you're taking a lot in, you're absorbing a lot of energy, and so you're adding mass, even if it's information, to the body. Now, when you're in theta, okay, you're aging normally, which is relaxation, which is meditation, which is imagination. And when you get into gamma, which is your super consciousness, your force, all right, you stop aging. So when you become commander-in-chief over this vessel, guys, you get to change your own age. You get to choose it. That's right. Look it up. It's in every book that has ever been written by any guru. If you pay attention to the scriptures, it's in there as well. You get to choose your own reality as soon as you take ownership and authority over the physical vessel. Instead of this being the master over you and going with your cravings and your urges and your behaviors and your desires, when you start to discipline, which means become the disciple of your own source energy, then you get to call the shots. You get to turn back the clock. You can be like, I don't like that part of me. And literally, it will mold around your desired choice as long as you aren't in rejection of it or disacceptance of it. As soon as you take control over it and allow it to unfold, it will mold, which means the archetype body that you're sitting in right now is perfect for the life you're living. How does that make you feel? Crappy. So let's look at the 3 things. If you're carrying weight, okay, what is your body telling you about your reality? All right, well, 2 things. If you're carrying extra weight on your body, I'm in a constant state of waiting. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for my kids to grow up. I'm waiting for money to come in. I'm waiting for Prince Charming. I'm waiting to lose weight. I'm waiting. There's one manifestation. Number 2, it's a protection. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with my partner. I don't feel safe in my life. I don't feel safe with myself. I don't feel safe with my choices. I don't feel safe with my past. I don't feel safe with money. That's the second thing, because weight causes you to become invisible and hide. But unfortunately, the bigger you get, the more attention you get, because everything in law of attraction is based on resistance and persistence. So what you resist, you get more of. The bigger you get, the more noticed you get. The more you try to hide, the more you're seen. Okay, number 2, what is your body telling you if it is sick chronically? Like colds lasting too long, or you've gotten COVID 3 or 4 times or whatever, okay? Then your body is saying, I need extra attention and love. I don't get enough attention and I don't get enough love. I don't get enough attention and I don't get enough love. I don't get enough care. That is what your body's story is telling to the entire universe. So we'll manifest an illness because you know what? Sick people are victims, and so they are absent of blame. So when you are sick, nobody can be mean to you. Okay. People have to be kind to you. This is why when people email me and say, oh, Jess, will you please put your hands on my mom? She's so sick with cancer. I was like, I cannot take her starring role away from her. That's the only way you guys go and visit. That is the only way you even give her attention, as if she is sick. So why would I take that away from her? Because if she got well, she might have expectations about herself that she doesn't want to do. She doesn't want to go work a job. And in this economy, you can't retire. So why don't we get sick? Because then we don't have to, and that becomes the archetype. I know this is a major tough love. This smacked me in the face for sure. Okay, number 3, pain. What is their pain archetype? You got chronic pain. You got hip pain. You got sciatic pain. You got all kinds of pain. You got inflammation. You got joint pain. What is that telling you? What is your archetype telling the world when you walk around in pain? Well, what did I write? Oh, it's slowing down your ability to create more failure. Pain is a failure complex because when you are in pain, you have to stop. Let me think about this. It's ego's opportunity to stop you, to protect you from failing, from falling, from getting hurt again. So if it can keep you in a perpetual state of pain, you might not choose that painful relationship. You might not put yourself out in the world again and get humiliated. You might not run out there and try to save the world because you need saving. So pain is your archetype that stops you from living your life because your life hurts. Therefore, your body hurts. Your life has hurt, so your body hurts. you're lacking the love and care, probably from your own self-love, and therefore you're walking around sick, going, who can love me? Because I'm sick. You have to love me. Okay? And if you don't understand manifestation and you don't understand the true meaning of scripture, you're probably like, this lady's a bitch. But you probably aren't at the number one ego awareness yet. So, say what you will until something happens to you and you wake up. All right? So, you guys, that is the cold, hard truth. But in this tough love is so much power for you, so much power. If you just take a step back and look at what I'm telling you this in a non-judgmental, non-duality perspective, and you say, I have all the power here, right? Just like last week, you are Dorothy, you are the Wicked Witch, you are Glinda the Good Witch, you are the monkeys, you are the Tin Man, you are the Scarecrow, you are the whole story, because this is unity consciousness. So every single thing that is going on in your subconscious mind is connected to every other subconscious mind. And that's why when you start to become the deliberate force of your own reality, the force of who you are as a creator, you step into that role and everybody will help you play out your new script, including your own ego. Okay? So that is my message for today. I have had to go through all of this purification with myself. So when I say this with authority, it's actually with a huge amount of compassion, because there has been many of days of me being in the fetal position on the shower floor crying, why me, when I was going through my deprogramming. And now I feel that I truly and honestly can help people move into that truth of who you are, which is an Imagineer. You were always making up your life, whether you're making up fake arguments and fights in your head or reliving the past or hoping that the future doesn't happen this way, or deciding who you are, creating it and stepping in. Reprogramming, self-hypnosis. You got hypnotized the first time, and so you're going to have to do it to yourself the second time, but it's better if you know how. Okay, so I like to call myself the how girl, especially for this particular boot camp. In 90 days, I will be the how. How do I manifest this? How do I change that? How do I do that? I've got your answers, because it is very specific. It's in 3-step process. It is 100% become the Imagineer and start to set forth in manifestation that which you choose, not which that you have to manifest anymore. Secondary, thought rehab. You're going to have to clean up your mind. It's a shit show in there. You're going to have to stop negative thinking patterns that are ruining your life, and they're going to reaction and interacting with your subconscious programs. And every time you react to a subconscious program that you generated, you reboot the system. Every time you interact, which means even if you go, I'm sick, I need to be healed, you're interacting, which means the true way to jump timelines or quantum leap is to be like, I'm not sick, never was sick, and start acting as if. But that takes a huge amount of Imagineering and thought rehab to be able to hold that method acting skill until your body remolds and reorganizes around you, because your body is the biography of your mind, and the mind is the biography of the body. So what is happening up here is going to show up here. And so if you got sweaty palms, or you got weird smells coming on you, or your skin is breaking out, or you are like dealing with something, look at it as a survival mechanism. What is my body protecting me from? If you're sweaty, it means that you are always wanting to run away, because you got to be slippery so you can slip out of the tiger's mouth. Okay, if you're emitting a smell, that's just the skunk. You don't feel safe, so you're trying to self-preserve yourself. So look at your body symptoms as protection and survival rather than misfortune. And as soon as you look at it through the eye of awareness in that way, you just stepped into power, which means you went from disempowered to empowerment. And now from that state of being, you can change your mind and start living on purpose, which means tomorrow morning when you get out of bed for adventure. Even if you have to go to work, even if you have to do things, make your day adventurous and see how your body starts showing up. Because one thing that we realized when we were creating this big boot camp was that children do not walk to walk. They walk to get somewhere. They walk to get something. When a child will first walk, it is because they've been eyeballing something they've wanted for a really long time, that they've got to be a little taller and they've got to walk towards it. So something sitting on a table, a remote control, your keys, your phone, is probably the reason your child walked. And the way they know how it is because they witnessed and watched you do it, plus they have instincts within them. But it wasn't easy. They fell down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And so your body is not going to change because you want to lose weight, especially if your motivation is to get something from someone else. Like, oh, I want to be better looking so I get laid more. You're not going to do it because that's not a purpose that your source or your force is aligned with. But if it's to be something, to get somewhere, to go do something. But see, here's the thing. If you have a subconscious belief system that says you never get to have what you want, why would your body ever really need to long-term heal? If you get more attention and more love being sick, if you stop failure from always being in pain, if the weight is keeping you on the couch and out of the social scene because of your own humiliation, why would your body change? Unless you decided, I don't want to be that girl anymore. I don't want to be that guy anymore. My birthright is abundance. I am owed this inheritance because I am a child of God and therefore I deserve it. And I will do everything in my power with my holy power, my higher self to get the body to submit to the will of who I truly am as a child of God. And that is what it takes. I can help you do this in 90 days. If you guys are not ready to go into this major tough love bootcamp that I have to offer right now, that is, it's all online. It's all virtual. It's go at your own pace. It's do it in your own time. And I give it to you guys for up to 6 months because you're going to want to do it again and again. And it's not just manifesting the body, guys. Guess what? You manifest this unity with your body and your body starts to change. Well, then now you're going to manifest a new playground because you are the 3D printer. You are the player. Okay. The player is going to print out the playmates, and the playmate's going to print out the playground. And you're going to live, hopefully, happily ever after, instead of 10 steps forward and 10 steps back. Instead of this insecure, self-loathing character generating other people that don't love you either after 3 months of dating them, then now you know. Okay? So choose you. Because when you say, I am aware, well, then guess what? You're going to start moving and shifting into awareness that you never knew you had possible before. And if you're not ready for that, we do have a group fellowship that we just get together and we work on Imagineering techniques. It's $23 a month. It's a private group on Facebook. It's filled with healers and practitioners and teachers and mentors. And so it is a ton of free guidance if you're not ready to go all the way with your ego integration here and step into the Luke Skywalker of your reality. You can jump in there and get weekly training. We've got meditations downloaded. We've got worksheets in there that you can work on, but you also get the fellowship and the accountability, also the communion and the networking that is in there. And that I will put all of those links in the comment section here. Also, if you go to my link tree, you can find all of the details of my bootcamp. Otherwise, if you're seeing me for the first time and you're like, okay, she said something there that I enjoyed, I've got, 600 or 700 videos on YouTube that you can go and binge watch yourself into awareness. Otherwise, I will see you guys next Monday. And thank you so much.